Hello, friends. I'm so happy that you're here today because together we're going to fly through the skies on the wings of adventure, and we're going to learn English at the same time. And where else would we be going but to the wonderful world of Norse mythology? We're going to meet some gods and maybe even see what the future holds for us. You ready? Let's go. We'll begin with a quick overview of this fantastic tale, then listen and learn as we explore it together. Then, at the end, there will be a quiz to check our understanding. And don't worry if you get some questions wrong. Keep listening and practicing, and soon you'll know this story like the back of your hand. So let's dive right in. Norse mythology is a treasure chest full of fascinating stories about gods and heroes, giants and monsters, magic and mayhem, and we're going to open that treasure chest today and take out the legendary Valkyries. In Norse mythology, the Valkyries were female figures who served the god Odin. They were fierce warrior maidens who rode across the battlefields of Midgard on their winged horses, choosing who should live and who should die. Those chosen to die in battle were guided by the Valkyries to Valhalla, the great hall of the slain, where they would await Ragnarok, the great final battle of the gods. So, that's a quick summary of the tale, and now we're ready to dive deeper and uncover more details. But remember, you can always rewind and listen again if anything doesn't sound clear. Okay, we're off to a great start. Now, let's delve deeper into this captivating story and uncover more of its intriguing details. So first, let me tell you about the world they lived in. Imagine a realm known as Asgard, the home of the gods, where majestic palaces shimmered and divine beings resided. In this realm, the Valkyries held a revered position, serving the supreme leader, Odin, the Allfather. Now, Odin was a god of wisdom, poetry, and war. He was known for his immense knowledge and his thirst for wisdom. He had one eye, because he sacrificed the other to gain knowledge. So Odin was like the OG wise guy. Okay, next up we have Valhalla. This place was super cool. It was like a massive hall made of wood where fallen warriors were brought. Imagine it as the ultimate hangout spot for those who died bravely in battle. Odin and his elite band of warriors, called the Einherjar, lived there. And get this, the warriors who ended up in Valhalla were considered the luckiest. Why? Because they got to party with the gods and goddesses. There was mead flowing like water, food fit for kings, and endless tales of heroism. Plus, every morning they would hit the training grounds, honing their combat skills and getting ready for the big showdown, Ragnarok. Valhalla was not just a place, it was an experience. So, all in all, the world of Norse mythology was like a big drama club with gods, monsters, battles, and a whole lot of action. But let's focus on these amazing characters, the Valkyries. Now they were like the ultimate wing women or wingmen, depending on what side of history you're on. These warrior maidens would fly around on their trusty steeds, keeping an eye on the mortals and picking out the strongest ones. When they found a worthy candidate, they would swoop down from the sky and guide them to their doom. And when I say doom, I mean a glorious death in battle, of course. But wait, there's more. The Valkyries weren't just body snatchers. They also prepared the warriors for their afterlife. They cleansed their bodies, put them in their finest clothes, complete with helmets and shields, and then led them to Valhalla, where they would be wined and dined before heading off to the big showdown. Talk about a wild ride to the afterlife. So basically, the Valkyries were like the bouncers of the underworld, making sure only the coolest and bravest made it in. All right, now we've covered the basics. Let's meet one of the most famous Valkyries of them all, Brynhildr. This broad-shouldered babe was not your average Valkyrie. No, sir. She was a force to be reckoned with. Odin was not happy, and as punishment threw her into a deep sleep. She was surrounded by a ring of fire, and no one could get close enough to wake her up. But there was a prophecy that said a brave hero would come and pass through the flames to awaken her. Well, along came a young hero named Sigurd, or Siegfried in German, depending on how you want to pronounce it. He heard about Brynhildr's plight and wasn't afraid to face the burning ring. As he passed through the fire, he woke her up, and they fell in love and did some other stuff. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Just know that their love story was as messy as it gets, filled with betrayal, tragedy, and maybe a dragon or two. So let's recap. The Valkyries were fierce female warriors who decided who lived and who died in battle. They guided the brave souls to Valhalla, where they hung out with Odin and the Einherjar until Ragnarok. And one Valkyrie named Brynhildr was put to sleep by Odin for disobeying him. A hero named Sigurd came to rescue her, and they lived happily ever after. The end. Well, actually, that ending is about as believable as politicians keeping their promises. But hey, at least we got some good stories out of it, right? Now, let's talk about some themes in this tale. The Valkyries symbolize courage, bravery, and the willingness to face death head-on. They represent those who choose to fight for what they believe in and who are willing to make the ultimate sacrifice. Additionally, they embody fate and destiny, guiding the course of human events and ensuring that the will of the gods is carried out. Finally, the Valkyries also represent the connection between life and death and the importance of honoring those who have died in battle. They ensure that the warriors who have fallen in battle are celebrated and remembered, carrying their souls to Valhalla, where they are welcomed as heroes. Now that we've explored the tale and its themes, Let's look at some vocabulary words. First up, we have battlefield, which refers to the place where the fighting takes place. Next, we have destiny, which is what is meant to happen to someone or something. Then, we have courage, which is the ability to do something that frightens one. Moving on, we have warrior, which is a person who fights, especially on behalf of a king or country. Next, we have prophecy, which is a prediction of what is going to happen in the future. Then we have betrayal, which is the act of breaking trust or being disloyal. Finally, we have sacrifice, which is the act of giving up something valuable for a greater cause. Let's practice using these words in a sentence. The Valkyries choose the bravest warriors. Brynhildr was punished for disobeying Odin. Valhalla is the hall of heroes. So try using these sentences in your own English. Repeat them out loud until you feel comfortable with the pronunciation. And if you'd like to learn English faster, try writing the sentences down as well. Writing helps you internalize new words and structures. Also, if you understand the story, try telling it in your own words. This is a great way to practice your speaking skills and improve your fluency. So that's the legend of the Valkyries, a tale of courage, bravery, and sacrifice. These warrior maidens are sure to live on in our imaginations forever. And we hope you enjoyed learning about them. Remember, just like the Valkyries, you too are on a journey of courage, learning English step by step. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Embrace them as opportunities to grow and become a better English speaker. Thank you for joining us today. If you liked the story, please show your support. Until next time, keep practicing your English and never stop believing in the power of stories. And now, let's check your understanding with a quiz. See you later. Bye.